The demo for Stellar Blade is out, okay? The long anticipated and, well, frankly, one of the only ones that are on the release schedule, PS5 exclusives for 2024. I'm still, at least at time of recording and probably through the rest of this week, still haven't quite made it through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Not for a lack of trying, it's just there's only so many hours in the day and that game is cram full of content. I love it. Couple of pet bugaboos, but again, once I get around to doing my big old long boy review of it, I anticipate it'll be done by the end of the year. Hopefully there's a PC port out for it so I can actually capture some gameplay firsthand. I have no idea how I'm going to accomplish it, but I'll get around to it. But that being said, I have seen some gameplay of Stellar Blade because, okay, it's been in the zeitgeist for a while when it comes to gaming, and obviously it has something to do with the overall Gamergate stuff, but then at the same time, this is very much predated this current wave of insanity, but it meshes up well with the Western gaming journalism ecosystem and gamers in general. Because, like I said, the demo's out. I've seen some gameplay. Mahler was playing the demo when, well, hell, I've been hearing so much about this game, and I couldn't be asked to actually download it. And I seen the gameplay, and it was like, oh, so this is like a Souls-like sort of thing. Not my cup of tea, so I'm not really going to play it. I like what the director's saying. I like his I could care less what all of these agitators have to say about what it means to make my game. I'm just going to go ahead and do what I want. But the people that are trying to combat all of the games media outrage, spoiler guys, there is nothing stopping these games journalists from being completely and totally irrelevant by the end of the year, because the only time that they are even quasi-germane to a topic is when they're writing outrage nonsense that everybody can look at and just go, wow, games journalism sure is gonna games journalism. Kotaku's on its last legs. All of its sister companies under Geo Media have been sold off. If it wasn't for this uptick in Gamergate 2 stuff, oh, they would have been a part of the AV Club, Deadspin, The Onion getting sold off. You better believe that. And looking at the rest of the release schedule for 2024, kind of like Hollywood, not a lot out there. Not a lot out there at all. So yeah, I wholly anticipate the likes of, well, and IGN just went through this failed coup to try to unionize their remaining writers, only to have a couple of them sacked in the aftermath. And I don't even know who owns GameSpot anymore or what they're even doing. But all of these major outlets, well, they're all falling by the wayside, picked up by independent outlets like Dexerto, like independent guys like Grums himself, covering all of this stuff better than the mass media outlets that just simply use this independent coverage in order to bolster their hack articles. So if you stop giving them air, guess what? They're going to fall by the wayside, and that can't happen soon enough. But, well, Stellar Blade is not quite my cup of tea because I don't like those Souls-like games. Doesn't mean that it's probably not going to have appeal that's out there. And then also, I'm not going against the whole backlash where, oh, they want to cancel beautiful women. It's like, I'm not going to be a simp like that, because let's keep it a buck. If you're going to be buying it because you need to uphold attractive women in video games, it was probably a part of the marketing tactic. Okay. And yes, the Stellar Blade director talks about the challenge of developing Eve, where, yeah, focusing a lot of time making the model look good because you're going to be staring at her a lot. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with that, also the people who are buying it specifically for that, the coomers that are out there, because let's just call them exactly what they are, you guys need to stop simping, because that's why all of these terrible practices, and that's why games journalism is in the state that it's in. It's because simps led activists through the door. But we'll come back around to that. Stellar Blade's director Hyun-tae Kim spoke to the inspiration behind the game's protagonist Eve, as well as the challenges the teams faced while designing and developing her. Stellar Blade finally launches next month. There's been plenty of discussion about Shift Up's a forthcoming action-adventure title ahead of its release. Thanks to its depictions of both violence and nudity, the game's been giving an adult rating in South Korea. I think it's still rated M for mature in North America and in the EU, and in Europe rather, but South Korea is a little bit more strict strict when it comes to its ratings. On top of that, there's been plenty of buzz around the design of the character, especially the protagonist. Yo, we finally got attractive. Yeah, we know. But you guys just really need to stop simping and by thinking that if you're going to support one game that's going to somehow save the West, you got played. And just like all the people that were a part of the anti-boycott of Hogwarts Legacy, guess what? It was the best-selling game of 2023. Who's still talking about it? Who, even after they bought it, just went, yeah, no, it's a fine game. But did you think that Warner Brothers listened to the fans? Or did they just come around, say, like a year later and release something like, say, oh, I don't know, Suicide Squad kills the Justice... Oh, right, yeah. Start putting two and two together. During an interview with Famitsu, a director, Hyuntae Kim, recently shared some insights about how the team went about designing Eve and what inspired their choices, as well as some difficulties they encountered along the way when it comes to costumes and the narrative and setting, or what helped inform the team's choices. A Stellar Blade setting is science fiction, a future where Earth has been reduced to a desolate wasteland and humans instead live on colonies. Okay, the protagonist Eve comes from Seven Colony and has been tasked with reclaiming Earth. Since it's a sci-fi story, I wanted to incorporate something which would be difficult to realize with physical costumes. We actively used glossy and luminous lighting elements to create futuristic design. And yeah, like I said, I've seen some gameplay of it, and well, I don't know, it doesn't really come across in the demo all that much. It's, yeah, desolate wasteland, and I don't know, the lighting looks fine, but it doesn't really look all that futuristic. It's just a small portion of the game, obviously. Well, some of the costumes were inspired to look by the looks in anime or movies. Oh yeah, and some of them were, that's for sure. Kim says the team strive to be able to come up with the ideas without restrictions to express the diverse charms of both Eve and the culture of the colonies. Although, despite the abundance of shiny, skin-tight suits Stellar Blade has on offer, Kim has cautioned players about letting the fan service go to their heads. Skin suits don't have any defenses. The difficulty of the gameplay will increase significantly, he said, so we recommend you wear clothing as much as possible. Yeah, which is also something that was actually pretty cool, that what I seen. It's like, yeah, you can go ahead with a minimalistic aesthetic if you want to go that direction with describing it, but the gameplay is going to get a hell of a lot more hard or more difficult. I don't think hard would be the appropriate way to go about this as a descriptor, at least the gameplay. But yeah, if you put armor on, you're going to get better defenses, but you're going to have less of my anime babe, my waifu, my 2D justice. But obviously, like I said, from the gameplay, or from the demo that I seen, not really my thing. Doesn't really look like there's anything deficient about it. With that said, we've had the professionals come across and give their insight as to what we're dealing with, and here we have IGN's France affiliate doing their review of the game. Forgive some of the syntax and maybe a bit of the grammar because this has been translated from French. Some of it might not make a lot of sense, but then again, that's just French in general. Humanity has been driven from Earth by naughty aliens, and it is time to take charge and reclaim what is left of our good old planet. It's Eve and his squad are sent to a spot for the purpose to put on ugly alien villains, but an extraordinary class, a formidable sword, and a tight outfit. In any case, it's a promise of Stellar Blade's next big exclusive from the PlayStation 5 that was possible for us to test, report to the first big hour of hunting in Natiba. Skipping ahead to what really matters, the design of the game, in particular, its characters highlight an obvious bias. We're going to smash some aliens, but if we can do it by pleasing the eyes of these gentlemen, which, yeah, guess what? Console gamers, PC gamers, guys that actually sit down and play games, as opposed to those flawed studies that also lump in mobile gamers in order to skew the audience. Guess what? It's overwhelmingly male. It's always going to be overwhelmingly male. So whether it's attractive women or physically accomplished men, that's what gamers in general like to see. They don't need to have this weird representation of all that matters on screen. That's you guys. That's the journalist class that's out there. We're going to and as a result, it's not really a success. Oh, really? It's, this is not new, and other games have made the choice to highlight the strengths of the female characters, but where a Bayonetta is iconic for character design, or a 2B for Nier Automata, inspires an entire generation of cosplayers. Okay, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland. Really? Really? I don't really think so, but here's the kicker. A doll sexualized by someone that one would believe to have never seen a woman. Oh, and then you have, because like it says up there at the top, this was updated on the 31st. It was originally posted on the 27th. This article has been edited following death threats. This article has been edited, yes, following death threats. It's super ethereal, guys, but Grums has the original that's right here. It's not new, and the other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of the female characters, but whereas Bayonetta stands out to the iconic character design, or a 2B from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplayers, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland. A doll sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman, but you might, eagle-eyed viewers might have seen a couple of the other images that are a part of this. Okay, has never seen a living woman, and not a real doll, obviously. You have the Korean model that the director specifically picked out to base the main character upon. And then also, oh yeah, right, that's the director's wife, who, yeah, is very much also a part of the team, who is also designing the characters that are on there. Which again also shows you the inherent lack of creativity because, okay, cool. Yeah, it's nice that, okay, you have self-inserts that are at least attractive, but come on, man. Let's think outside the box a little bit. But given the times that we're in, okay, I would much rather see Stellar Blade be a success. I hope that the game is good. That's first and foremost, okay? I just don't want a game that's just simply a attractive woman simulator that ends up getting artificially pushed simply on that aspect, and that it's a good Souls-like game. Because as somebody who has been a big gamer in the past, I would like to come back to the hobby. It's just there's nothing, especially at the AAA level. I know that there's a bunch of indie and AA stuff, and I'm very well aware of that, and I'm very happy for that success. This is also kind of like what's going on with Disney and their little proxy war that's going on right now. At this point in time, I kind of just want the Western developers and games journalists to get everything that they want, mostly because, well, they're just killing their own industry, and the quicker that thing all disintegrates, the quicker we can get back to something that's actually good, instead of just bickering over whether or not the strong, empowered female protagonist has got a realistic hip-to-waist ratio. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.